Hello there. I know in many of my previous videos I've stated that my favorite Canon lightsaber hilt is the Graflex. It doesn't really matter which version of it is. It evolved over every movie that it appeared in. The Graflex as a whole is my favorite, but it does have a very close rival, and that would be Obi-Wan Kenobi's last lightsaber. Regardless of whether it's the Episode 4 version that was cobbled together from spare parts from the props department, or the version from Episode 3 that was machined specifically for that movie, based off of the original hilt and refined into almost a work of art. Actually, not almost, a work of art. At one point in time, I never even thought that I would have the opportunity to own a perfect version of the lightsaber, and I cobbled together one of my own from NHS parts and parts from Roman props, Ultra Sabers, the custom saber shop. It was actually a really good lightsaber, but fortunately I had the opportunity to get the Roman props MK1 and the Korbanth OWK3. And this is the saber that we're going to be focusing on today. We're going to be doing a complete breakdown and review of the OWK3 saber, as this is going to be the last opportunity to see this as an empty hilt. I have finally got all of my parts in, and I am going to begin starting the install here within the next few days to a week. Now, to start out with, the OWK3 comes with two pommels. You have a vented pommel for sound and a solid pommel for display. And each section breaks down for easy installation. Which is actually, I like the way that this pommel is designed with the screw in the center. It kind of makes the end cap seam look a lot better. Now mine is actually perfectly machined to where the CoverTech wheel is in the 3 o'clock position. I have seen other videos where other people who've gotten these, the machining's been off and they've had to do some sanding and make adjustments to fix that. Now from here, the control box section is held on by these two screws, which are pretty tight. And in order to get them off, I've actually put some shrink wrap or wire shrink over my needle nose pliers to make it a little bit easier to get a grip on them. These are actually really well detailed parts. And then the control box section is also held on by this screw here. There we go. I went ahead and paused while I unscrewed that because, you know, who wants to sit here and watch me unscrew this piece? Now, the control box actually comes with its own switches on a PCB. They're momentary switches. And then they hold this piece over it, which goes underneath the card. And that's your activation and your auxiliary switch. Now, the one unfortunate thing I feel about the OWK3's design is that there isn't a breakdown. Oops, we got two more screws here. Okay, there we go. Paused again while I was doing the unscrewing. But yeah, we have two additional Phillips head screws that hold the control box onto the control box section. And then this slides off. Now, as I was saying, the unfortunate thing about the Korbanth OWK3 is that the grenade section and the switch section are one solid piece, so there's really not much of an opportunity for a crystal reveal chamber on this hilt. But it's beautiful black anodized for the grenade section. We have the emitter, which is very nice, and it comes with its own blade plug. And one thing that is going to be a challenge, and one of the reasons why I held off for so long on doing this installation, is the shallowness of the emitter. That's actually a very shallow space. I was originally considering doing a LED installation with it, but I've decided to go with a NeoPixel. And then I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick while I put this all back together. Okay, we're back. And I'm really glad that I paused, because if I would have tried putting that back together on camera, it took a little bit of a while. The little screws are kind of difficult for my big sausage fingers. Anyway, so moving on, the Saber itself comes in at pretty much right at 11 inches in length. I took my measuring tool while I was off camera. The control box at its widest point is 1.9 inches. At the booster, it's about 1.4 inches. Now, the standard for this particular design, hilt design, is the Master Replicas Limited Edition. Unfortunately, I don't actually have one of those. I was fortunate enough to see Shamim's video comparing the OWK3 and the Inception Elite to a Master Replicas Limited Edition, and if I recall correctly, the OWK3 was actually the closer match out of the two to the Master Replicas. Now, Roman Props is doing another run on the Inception Elite now. I've actually pre-ordered that because I just have to. I'm compulsive. And I do plan on doing the crystal chamber on that one with the OWK3 Designs chassis. I went ahead and kind of put together the chassis. I am using a OWK3 Designs Economy chassis from the Saber Armory by KR Sabers. We've got our TCS WOW 4-watt bass speaker, a 2.1 millimeter recharge port, a Keep Power 18650 battery, and we're going to be using the Crystal Focus 10 card. I've already got my blade tube and my NeoPixel strips laid out on the table, stretching and flattening out, because when they were sent to me, they were all rolled up like this. And I figured, if I give them a few days to kind of flatten out a little bit, they'll be easier to work with when I make the blade, which I actually plan on starting probably right after I finish this video. It's going to be a few weeks. I do plan on using the Stock Custom Works NeoPixel PCBs with the built-in LEDs, one for the blade, and that's going to be because the emitter is so shallow that this bottom part of the blade where the wires are going to be, that's going to actually kind of be dark, so hopefully these LEDs will make up for that. And then the LEDs on the hilt side PCB will actually make it so that I don't have to create a special blade plug to shine through whenever I don't have the blade in. Alright, well that pretty much does it for today. I may be offline for a little while I work on this. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any videos while I'm doing the installation on this. Coming up though, I do have plans to start doing videos on my Hasbro Black Series sabers. I also plan on doing a install or an upgrade on my Graflex 2.0. We'll be upgrading that to a Crystal Focus 10 and NeoPixel as well. That should pretty much cover it for today. Thank you for watching. Please leave some comments, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe. Thank you, and may the Force be with you.